Hi everybody, this is Tom from Blakgraz. This is one of our first videos. We've started doing these videos, Guitar and Gab, and I had a notion. I've been watching these videos from the Top Music Attorney channel and from the Beato channel talking about AI music, and it's so funny, especially for Beato, because he seems like he's been in the industry for a long time, that he's a little bit up in arms about this too. The idea of interpolation and AI borrowing from live artists and all that stuff. So a lot of folks are getting real nervous about AI kind of taking things over, and I think that's a mistaken notion. It's no different than when DJs first came on the scene and everybody said, well, live music is dead now. Or when karaoke came on the scene and everybody said, oh, live music is dead now. It just is going to have to find a place for itself, basically, AI music. But I anticipate AI music becoming sort of like elevator music, you know, stuff you hear in the grocery store, or stuff that you hear when you're climbing the stairs or on an escalator, or you're in a mall, because AI music can't go out and play live, right? And one of the things that a lot of people forget about technology is that as technology progresses, they did a lot of studies in the 70s when computers were first coming out and trying to make office spaces more technologically advanced and all this progressive baloney, right? And what they found was that people, men and women, the more technology that was introduced into the workspace, the more people wanted nature. So they'd bring more plants into the office, or they'd want, you know, pictures of their family. So while technology can be very helpful, it can never replace the inspiration that we feel as living men and women, living souls of our Creator. Without getting too spiritual, it depends on who you pray to or who you give credit to for your inspiration, right? So I'll leave that up to you. But think about it. Where does the AI inspiration come from? Well, it comes from whoever created it, whoever wrote the code, and whatever input is given to the AI, that's the source of the inspiration. It still comes from us, right? Eventually, maybe AI could reach a point where it starts to seek inspiration from, you know, other sources, like, you know, what planets look like, or what stars look like, or what animals in nature do, and things like that. But it's still external input. Whereas with men and women, we have a source connection that is an internal source of inspiration. Of course, we're inspired by things externally as well, but we get this wonderful connection that AI doesn't to the universe, whatever you want to call it. So as far as AI taking over and replacing and all of that baloney, I think it's a mistaken notion. In fact, here's another good testament to the more that there's technology, the more people seek nature. The other part of that in the music industry has been pretty consistent. Anytime there's financial stress on an economy in a country, the people of that country have a tendency to lean back towards root styles of music. Instead of seeking out pop quite so much, sometimes they'll go back to, you know, traditional blues, traditional jazz, classical, to bluegrass, to traditional country. And we've seen that just recently, and we're still seeing it. There's still a trend towards those roots styles of music. And AI forever will just be chasing that dragon, and it will never be able to catch it, because the inspiration for us comes from our experience as a living soul and our connection to Source or to God, generator of dimensions, whatever you call it, right? Whereas AI's inspiration does not come from any source like that. It has to come only from external influence, or its own learning of external influence. So I think there's certainly going to be some struggle with integrating AI and how it should be represented to the public or to people who are purchasing music and things like that. But the one for sure distinguishing factor will always remain, and that is that AI cannot go out and perform live. Now, they can create holograms, and they can have it pretend to have a hologram up on a stage and call it a live performance, but it's not a live performance. If it's not a living man or woman on stage, then it's not a live performance. And AI will never experience the pitfalls and challenges of a live performance of a man or woman standing on stage and making mistakes or having things go wrong, or the air being a different temperature, or your guitar out of tune because there's too much humidity, or a light flashing and distracting you for a moment so you play the wrong note. AI will never experience that and then never have to go back and overcome those challenges and learn from overcoming those challenges. So there will always be a place for it, but it will not overtake, least of all, completely replace what's occurring with living men and women in inspiration in music, especially in art, I think, in general, or even just in life in general. But that's a pretty broad statement. So I just wanted to share that since everybody seems to be talking about it a lot, I thought it would help kind of give some clarity. And if anybody has some ideas of their own or opinions of their own, I'd love to see them in the comments. And thanks for watching. Hope everybody enjoyed this. And here's to guitar and gabbin and guitar, or whatever it is that we're doing here. Did you get that?